All right, it's Going Deep, the local show. I'm Jedi Jansen, and I am joined with the UnderMain Theater. What's up, guys?
Nothing much. How you doing?
Good. I'm sorry. I already we just met. You just got here. Go ahead and give your names real fast.
I'm Dylan Key.
I'm Colin Ahern.
All right, cool. So you guys are here to talk about the latest show at the UnderMain Theater. And before we get into that, I want to say congratulations for 29 years. You're celebrating 29 seasons. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. I can only take credit for the last year and a half, but I'll take the gratitude.
And so we're going to talk about an Iliad. Did I say that right? The name of the show?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And we're also going to talk about UnderMain has a new blog, and it just so happens that you two are the writers for that, which is really cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and whatever else you guys want to talk about.
All right.
So are y'all going to be doing more shows after an Iliad, or?
Yeah, Anelia's the first show of our season, and we have 3 more after. This is the largest season we've had in a while. It's 4 shows this year. So we have an Iliad, and then Burying Our Father, which is a Fred Kerchak show about the 3 Abrahamic religions. Abraham's sons go to bury their father in a cave, and hilarity ensues, basically. And then we have a show called Penelope, which is a new play about the suitors in an Odyssey waiting for Penelope to choose one of them to marry. And that's actually going to go up at the New City Performance Hall down in the Arts District. And then we have the Ghost Sonata, which is a August Strindberg play, an old avant-garde classic that we'll be doing in the spring.
Cool. That sounds great. Well, I look forward to talking about that in a second. We'll be right back. It's Going Deep, the local show.
I've been searching for something, but I can't see anything at all. I'm higher than I've ever been, and I don't think that I'll fall down. Higher than you. You get lost in your pockets, your eyes falling out of the sockets in your head. You're trying the straight and the narrow. Which direction will you follow now? I can't see the forest from the trees, and I can't tell the sky from the sea. I can't tell if you're talking to me, 'cause I can't surrender my sickness. Angry at the mirror, when will my heart be clear and free? My head's spinning like a dancer, but I can't find the answers to my problems. Higher than you, so much higher than you. I can't see the forest from the trees, and I can't tell the sky from from the sea. I can't tell if you're talking to me, 'cause I can't surrender my sickness. Well, I can't see the forest from the trees, and I can't tell the sky from the sea. I can't tell if you're talking to me, 'cause I can't surrender my sickness.
All right, that was Zachary Scott Pole Band, Higher Than You. Love that song. Okay, so we're back. What's up, guys?
Nothing
So
much.
so right before we started the show, I was showing y'all some pictures that I pulled from y'all's Facebook page. What's the Facebook page, by the way? Just UnderMain.
Yeah, Facebook.com/UnderMain Theater, I think. Yeah.
Cool. And one of the pictures that I pulled up was of this water harp, and I told you before the show that I kind of wanted you to describe what it was, or whatever, because it looks weird. It looks like a bong almost.
Yeah.
But you're like, hey, let me just go grab it real fast, and so now you have it. Cool.
Yeah. Well, you tell them how we use it in the show, and then I'll play it a little bit.
Well, we've actually got, so Iliad is a one-man show. It was written as a one-man show. And we've got a musician on stage with him. And so kind of our twist on the production is we've got, I think, 11 different instruments on stage that they play throughout the show. And we've got everything from really, really ancient instruments to electric guitars, and then something in between, which is this water harp.
Cool. I actually I saw a really cool video about that not too long ago, which is weird that I didn't recognize what it was, but there was these weird like noises being heard across the globe. Were y'all familiar with that like a few months ago? Well, it sounded very similar to this, so go ahead and let's hear what it sounds like.
All right, hang on.
It's very, very creepy.
Hey, oh, yeah.
sounding. Awesome.
Yeah, it was, I think, invented about 40 years ago and got a lot of popularity for use in horror movies, actually. So it was used in Poltergeist and a few others.
Yeah, we ended up using it in a lot of our battle scenes for the show, and it's just really funny because it looks, I thought it was something ancient, but it's pretty modern.
Well, cool. Well, on that note, let's talk about it. Anelia, that's it's the show going on right now at the UnderMain. So I'm familiar with Homer's poem, the epic poem Iliad. How similar to this is it to the poem?
I would say it's pretty similar. It's the same story. It's condensed so that you're not in the theater for like 6 hours. But it's kind of told from the perspective of this wandering poet who seems like he's been telling it for thousands and thousands of years, but he will speak in a modern way so the play incorporates a lot of the poetry from the original book and incorporates that with modern speech.
Cool. Awesome. Sorry, I'm having some sound issues over here, trying to turn it up a little bit. Well, okay, that's awesome. I like that. So tell me a little bit about some of the actors that you have in it.
Well, it's written to be a one-man show, just the one poet, and that's played by Bruce DeBose, who's in a lot of our shows, and also our executive producer. And then Colin mentioned all the music. We brought in Paul Semrad, who's a local musician. He was in a band, Course of Empire, for several years in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so he supplies this whole track and underscoring that's going on while Bruce is, playing this character, giving this dialogue of the story about Homer, this, huge array of instruments, and he's sort of just wandering around stage. And sometimes Bruce picks up a guitar and they play a song together. It's a really interesting piece. Paul he also designs our posters. If you've seen those around town, Paul designs those when he's not playing music. And he was last in Neil Young's Greendale, the rock opera we did a few years ago. So it's good to have him back in the theater.
Now, the Iliad, it's basically about like the Greek and like Trojan siege, right?
Yeah, it's a little it's interesting because we all know the Trojan War, and there's Paris and the apple, judging who's the best looking goddess, and there's the Trojan horse at the end that everyone knows about. But the Iliad, the text that Homer gives us, is really condensed to only a few weeks of the war, and it's basically Achilles, who's like the best fighter for the Greeks, goes on strike and won't fight because their general has taken his woman. And so he goes on strike, the Greeks end up losing, he sends his friend into battle, and the Greeks end up winning, but then his friend dies, Achilles goes back into battle and kills Hector, who's a Trojan's best fighter. And that's basically the end of the Iliad. That's all that Homer covers. The rest of it we learn about from other ancient texts.
And so an Iliad is a version of this, but one guy is playing out.
Yeah, he actually plays all the different characters himself.
I got it.
So he's
so
the
there's different
storyteller.
characters, but it's just one actor.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we do a lot of FX on his voice. He's mic'd in a couple different ways, so we can change his voice for different characters and stuff. It's really bizarre, some of the effects that they're able to get. When he's playing a god versus when he's playing a woman. It's really impressive.
Awesome. Y'all had a preview of it last night, right?
Yeah, we did. It went really well.
Saw a lot of cars in the parking lot. I was like, yeah.
It's good. It's good, yeah. And Floyd, our red-haired parking
Love
guy, was out there.
Floyd.
He's the man.
Man, Floyd is the man. He's great. Love that guy. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other shows you have coming up.
So Burying Our Father, which is the play about the three Abraham religions, is developed by Fred Kirchhoff and Laura Jorgensen, and they're a husband and wife performing artist couple. And Fred teaches up at UNT, and Laura works in San Francisco, and they do these. It's hard to describe. It's their own work, but it's just the two of them, and they usually have like a scrim hung behind them, and that's pretty much it. And then they have some flashlights and a couple other lights, and they create these huge complex pieces by varying their voices, and they do like a lot of shadow puppetry. It's really like nothing you'll ever see. Like Fred Kirchhoff is, sort of a worldwide performance artist, and we're really lucky to have him in North Texas. And his work is really something that at UnderMain we really appreciate being able to bring to the public, because it's so interesting. It's like nothing you'll ever see, and it's always a blast. So he can tackle an issue like the burying of Abraham from Judaic, Muslim, and Christian perspectives, but do it in a way that, it's the best trip you'll have in a theater.
Cool. That's one of the things that I love about y'all's theater is you can see these stellar like shows, but you're right there. It's very intimate,
Unless you have a Colin in front of you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, we have the big, since we're in the basement, the big
column.
foundation columns.
I actually have sat in that corner at one point. But,
well, you learn if you direct shows there that there's like 5 spots in the theater that if you stand, everyone can see you.
Yeah.
So you can sort of see, we use a lot of the same staging from show to show, so we can hit those spots that everyone can see without getting obstructed. So there's a lot of tricks to get around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been in the business? I mean, you seem like you're,
Well, Colin and I both graduated from University of Dallas in Irving. I graduated a year ago, and Colin's been out for a few months.
Yeah, I just started at the UnderMain in June, so it's been a brief but exciting experience so far.
Yeah, I mean, the Dallas theater community is pretty intimate, so everyone seems to know each other. You know, there's kids from SMU who we hang out with, and we have some other students from UNT who work with us, and UTD. So it's UnderMain does a really good job at providing avenues for, you know, students getting right out of college to make some first steps into the professional world. And Catherine and Bruce are both really generous and value, you know, giving opportunities. So we've been pretty lucky to have that.
Hey, so sorry to I'm pretty ADD on air. I forgot I had a couple more pictures that I wanted to talk about Anelia. What was this circle that has? It's like the Apollo and the Muses circle.
That is a picture. Well, it's more kind of like a diagram that explains Achilles' shield. So there's this great part in an Iliad where, Patroclus gets killed wearing Achilles' armor.
Patroclus is Achilles' best friend.
And so Achilles has lost all his armor. So his mom takes him to Hephaestus, who's the Greek god who makes everything, and he's a welder, and he makes him a new set of armor and a new shield. And he just kind of creates this huge, magical, kind of completely impossible shield that's like the size of the earth or something, and he puts the whole earth on it, and just it's kind of this image of the whole world at peace and at war, just kind of this cosmological kind of depiction of how things are. I don't know exactly. I mean, people have been debating forever what it really means, but that's kind of a little picture that shows everything that he's put on this impossibly huge shield.
Very cool. It looks. Have you ever seen the original yin yang? Not the traditional one that we're all familiar with, but the original one. It looks kind of similar to that. And as you described it, it almost, the meaning kind of seemed the same.
Yeah, it's something about having it's about the division and the connection between the divine world and sort of the human world in a lot of ways. And you'll see how it intersects if you read the little labels, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's really trying to represent that relationship as how the Greeks thought of themselves in relation to the gods.
Cool. Now, who are these guys?
Let's see.
Is that the actor and the musician that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, they're
awesome.
You can talk about a little bit about their costumes. Who are they supposed to be?
Well, they kind of have this old world look to them. Where they kind of look like they've been traveling through the ages and haven't really gotten a new suit yet this century. Uh-huh. It's kind of an eclectic look.
It's sort of like they're a vaudeville act, and this is sort of their shtick in a little bit.
Yeah.
As they go and have to do this Iliad performance every century.
And then we got one of my favorite guys that works with you, Ken. Ken Bernstein. He actually found Catherine's wallet and turned it in. So shout out to him. We love that guy.
Yeah, Ken's a good guy.
He's great. So okay, now you're saying that this season is really exciting for you guys. Of all the shows that you have going on, what's your favorite one?
Well, this is the first one we've started, so tough to say how everything else is going to go. But we're all really excited about Penelope because we're doing it in Dallas City Performance Hall. And I think we'll be the first theater company to do something in their space.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you're doing a show outside of the theater.
Yeah, and we've done shows in New York before, and earlier in the theater's history did shows elsewhere around Dallas. But this is the first show at another place in Dallas that we've done in a while. And I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of the City Performance Hall or been inside. But it's a massive building next to the Dallas Theater Center in the Arts District. And I think it seats about 750 people, which is about 650 people more than we normally seat for our shows. So the designer, Russell Parkman, who teaches at SMU, and the director, Stan Voivodsky, who also teaches at SMU, have come up with this plan where they're going to drop a curtain down at the front of the stage, shut off the audience seats, and then put seats on the stage and seat about 150 audience members on the stage, and then have the set all in the stage. So even though it's at this huge theater, this huge modern theater, it'll still have that intimacy at UnderMain. Yeah.
That's neat.
And it'll create some really cool opportunities for staging because the entire play of Penelope takes place in the bottom of a drained swimming pool.
And
So you've got to have a lot of vertical height there.
what's the premise of Penelope?
Well, there's we call this our season of the myth because we're doing an Iliad now, and the Penelope is based on the Odyssey, which is Homer's other big work, and
Oh, okay, and that's
yeah.
and that ties into Iliad.
Exactly.
The Odyssey.
So
Okay.
so after hatching his Trojan horse idea, Odysseus has to go back to his wife, and the Odyssey tracks that journey. But while he's traveling back to his home in Ithaca, his wife is at home, and there's about a multitude of guy suitors trying to marry her. And Penelope is like a modern take on that, where the last 4 dudes are all sort of sitting in their Speedos, hanging out at the bottom of this drained swimming pool, just being guys. And whenever Penelope comes out, they try to win her affection. And then she leaves, and they just go back to, broing around. So it's really funny. It's completely modern. An Iliad is mixed modern and classical verse. Penelope is completely modern, and it's written by Enda Walsh, who's a really hot new Irish playwright. He just won the Tony for the musical adaptation of Once on Broadway. So we're really excited to get to do one of his pieces.
So take me to preseason before you guys even have any of these shows lined up. How do y'all come up with what the season's going to look like?
Well, Colin and I and our literary manager, Stephen Foglia, read all the new scripts that people send to us.
Oh, okay, cool.
They can just send it to our literary manager at UnderMain.org, and we'll read the script. We read everything, and then we also go out and look for scripts. We read a lot of publications, the New York Times, to see what's hot in New York. And then Catherine Owens and Bruce DuBose are also reading and talking to playwrights that we've worked with in the past. So we've built up this huge, list of shows that we're interested in, and then we meet and have a literal drawing board that's like, 3 feet tall, 2 feet wide, and we just write down every single show that we like, and then we slowly chop them out one at a time.
What are some things that disqualifies a show from being at UnderMain?
I mean, there's like the casting issue. I mean, sometimes, you have a certain pool of actors to draw from, and if the people aren't there at the time, like, if you need a 100-year-old woman, like, maybe that won't happen that season.
Why do you have such a small pool, it sounds like?
Well, we try to we usually work with a mix of local and non-local actors, but we primarily work with local actors, and then, it's always tough just to find the right actor for the right part in the right schedule as well is another big issue. I'm trying to think, what are some casting challenges we've had recently? Well, for Ages of the Moon last year, we were really lucky to get Bruce DuBose and Mark Fickert, who are both really talented, adult male actors. But those guys are in high demand among all the theaters around town. So if you can get 2 really good ones, then you're pretty lucky. And that sort of, I don't want to call it competition, but it's always a little bit of work to get the right actor that you're looking for.
Very cool. All right, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll wrap up talking a little bit about the newsletter and blog.
All right.
Does that sound good? All right, cool. Be right back.
One, two, 1, 2. goes on in my mind. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Away.
Right, feeling sexy on Going Deep, the local show. Gotta love that. All right, so that was Aaron Gaden Lemonade, and we're gonna wrap up the show. Thank you guys for coming in. I mean, we're not done, but just want to say thank you for coming in. I love having you guys come in. I was upset because I thought y'all were supposed to come in yesterday, and so I sat here waited and y'all didn't show up, and then Narciso told me it was today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think at first we had talked about having to be Wednesday, but the Wednesday before the first preview is pretty crazy down in the theater. We're all running around trying to clean, so.
Yeah, and that's what I figured. I was like, wow, it's, they're coming in on their first night. That's cool. But glad to have you in now.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the UnderMain blog. Man, I was putting my place. You already have 20 of them out.
Yeah, they go. I think we started writing like beta, sort of like a beta version back last fall, and Colin does writes a lot more articles than I do, but I'll talk a little bit about the foundation of it. It's really tricky for theaters to market themselves on social networking in a lot of ways. No one's quite figured it out how to do it. How to get the internet hits on Facebook or Twitter, and how to convert that into audience numbers. And so we're trying to play with something that would give us a little bit of a longer form to talk about our theater online. And so Catherine wanted to try out a blog, and the blog lets us do a lot of different stuff. We can post cute cat videos of Mr. Midnight, or we can also have sort of longer, more substantial pieces about,
What do you mean QCat videos?
Well, we have our mascot, our theater mascot is a Mr. Midnight, and he's a little black cat who lives at the theater, and he grants some good luck to the actors. He waits for them to walk through the door every night for rehearsal, so we kind of have a little following for Mr. Midnight on Facebook.
I see, I saw you also have a new intern that's got a green thumb.
Oh, that's this.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I kind of took over watering the plants this summer, so that was a little project I had.
They survived.
Yeah,
First time I've made that happen.
I have a green thumb myself, and so I'd walk by and see the plants out there, and I'm like, oh, I just wish I could fling some water on them. But yeah, you got them looking good. Well, that's cool. So now, how the newsletter and blog, they're two different things, right?
Yeah, so the newsletter is something we send out to our season pass holders only in the mail, like hard form.
Okay.
You can pick it up at the theater if you want to take a look at it. And then the blog is at undermaintheater.blogspot.com. And usually we update that pretty daily. And like I said, there'll be like cute cat videos, but there'll also be longer pieces on how we pick our season, for example, or environmental sustainability in theater. So sort of the whole gamut. It gives us a longer way to talk about our theater.
Yeah, and I guess the thing about the blog is that it goes a little bit beyond marketing, because it's more of just kind of engaging our audiences when they're outside of the theater, and kind of continuing that conversation that may start when they're here, and then just kind of keep talking about it.
Neat. Now you mentioned season pass, and that's cool because I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So our season pass is it's called an all access pass, and it's $100 for a single and $175 for a double, one person or two person. And you buy one at the beginning of the year, and you can go see every show as many times as you want, whenever you want. And they're still on sale now if you want to buy them. You can just check them out online. And if you come see an Iliad and love an Iliad and want to buy a season pass, we'll deduct your ticket price for an Iliad off of your season pass.
Oh, that's nice.
So you won't lose any money there.
Cool. Where can people find the blog and the website? The website's undermain.org, right?
Yeah.
And then UnderMain
UnderMainTheater
at
.blogspot.com is our blog address.
Or you can just go to y'all's Facebook and everything's
Yep,
there.
it's
Y'all
all
have a
linked
Twitter?
to our Yeah, we have Twitter. It's just at UnderMain.
So what are some of the things that the UnderMain tweets about?
Well, I think I do most of the Twitter running, and I usually just link to articles that we're reading around the office and stuff. You know, we usually read the Times a lot, and TCG's, the Theater Communications Guild, and they do a lot of writing about the state of American theater. So we usually tweet about those sort of subjects.
How is the state of American theater? Is it
That's great. Yeah.
is it on the rise, or I mean, it feels like it is because when I first started, I didn't see, you know. I mean, I saw the UnderMain would have a crowd, but man, y'all really pack it now.
Yeah, I think Dallas is theater's definitely on the rise in Dallas, with the Arts District downtown, and even the smaller theaters that are just sort of scrapping it out in someone's basement are doing some really exciting experimental stuff. So it's a good time to be in Dallas.
Awesome, love that. Well, is there anything else you guys want? Did I have anything? Oh, I saw you have so you have ads out on NPR. Was that about an Iliad?
Yeah. Bruce DeBose, who's in the play, does the sound design as well, so he records the ads for KERA.
Cool.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Awesome. Is there anything else? The shows are running. An Iliad is running started last night and it's till October.
October 27th, I
There
think,
you go.
is the last show, and then Fred Kirchick show, Burying Our Father, starts the week after that.
Oh wow!
So we'll be running almost year-round this year, so there'll always be something exciting going down.
Nice. I love that, man, because that way I get to see Floyd opening the door for people.
Absolutely.
And so y'all do have wine at the UnderMain.
Yeah, we have wine, beer, coffee. Now we have muffins now, right? Down in our concession.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Nice. It's a good time. It's a good time to be able to go out to a show, bring a date, drink some wine, watch a good show.
Yeah, come down to this cool basement space that you sort of have to go underground. It's pretty unique.
Yeah, and we're here at 3200 Main, so come check them out. An Iliad, by Lisa Peterson and Dennis O'Hare. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Do y'all want to come in and talk about some of the other shows when they're coming up? Maybe bring in one of the actors involved.
Absolutely,
if I got
yeah.
something big?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Cool. All right,
Yeah,
well,
dude.
then we'll see you then.